Fabric Arts. I am back from Canada and I am ready to continue on my fall fun here. First, Canada was amazing. Oh my gosh, it was the most beautiful thing I've seen. The water from the glaciers is this amazing, incredible color of blue. The pictures don't even do it justice. It's just majestic. And I came away with a lot of inspiration for some colorways that will involve a lot of turquoise and green. So that'll be coming up sometime over the winter, I think, or maybe just around the corner for spring, so that we can start seeing some happier colors. But right now we are still in the happy, which is my favorite season of the year, which is fall. And I would like to do sunflower. Every year I do something with sunflowers. I do a sunflower something colorway. This was my one from a couple of years ago. I just wanted to give you a sense for how a Rolag would spin up. I spun and knitted this up from Rolags. Obviously I had a little bit different color combination than what I have going on today. And I'm going to show you the difference in the techniques and the ways we can create more stripy or less stripy yarn. But this is a really cute headband, and these are little mitts that I made. And my favorite part of this headband was the cute little sunflower polymer button that I made. And you may see me wear this necklace. I wear it quite a lot. And I made the little charm. So just because I like sunflowers a lot. So this one is my little fall headband, and it fits really well. And these are my little fingerless mitts. And I like this one too because it doesn't like have to stretch over top of my watch. And usually in the fall, you just need something to take a little bit of the edge off. So this is the little sunflower mitts that I made from Rolags that I had done a couple of years ago. And I know I showed you these in one of the videos last year, maybe, when we were talking about what can you make out of just a little bit of Rolag, and here's your answer. So these Rolags I just recently made, and these are going to be for sale on my website. They already are up because we should have dropped yesterday at 7 p.m. And this one has a little more gold in it than the bright yellow. And I do really like these, and these are beautiful. It's kind of more of this golder color in here. But I think I'm going to do some with a little more yellow. And so this one I put a lot more yellow in. And I'll kind of show you the difference in the way things are set up. So with this Rolag, the way I set it up is that when you spin from the Rolag, you're going to get a yellow section, a green section, yellow, green, yellow. And there's some brown mixed in with the yellows, and there's some gold, and there's some angelina through here, and there's some sari in here. So it'll have a little texture to it. And when you spin it, it's going to give you a striped yarn, much like what I have here. And it'll just keep repeating. So you can kind of see how my pattern repeats very symmetrically and just kind of keeps repeating through with the stripes. And that's what you'll get with this. We can try 2 different types of Rolags today. I was thinking maybe we would do the bats, but maybe we'll just keep this with Rolags, and we'll do 2 different styles of Rolag. The ones I'm going to make today, I'm going to use more yellow with. And the yellow is Polypay fiber, and this is some fiber that I got from a local fiber shop called Avalon Springs Farm, and wonderful. This is super soft blend. And what else we have in this little goodie bag here? This is 100% alpaca, and it's going to give us a little bit of that bright yellow orange. And then this is a little bit of merino, and this is also alpaca. Oh, I got a lot of this in here. So these are the yellows that I am planning on using right here. And then I have the sari, the pulled silk sari, which is going to give us some tweed effect. And I have this little piece too that has some pulled silk sari in it, and it has a little bit of brown in it too for the center of the flower. So we're going to have that in there. And then the greens, I like to use a lot of different greens for the stems and the leaves, and I just like to blend them together. So I got all kinds of green in here. I've got a little bit of tussah silk, and this is an alpaca blend. This is also an alpaca blend. This is silk. This is soft silk, and this will give us a little bit of texture. And I have some gold angelina, and that is what we're going to use. What we are going to do is I pre-measured this out, and this is just over 2 ounces. The important thing about Rolags is you doing it on your Drumcarder is you do not want to use the burnishing brush. So I'm going to put this one away so we won't even have it up here, so I won't accidentally do it on autopilot, because I've done that before. So you don't want to pack it in really hard. So you pack it in really hard, it's going to be hard to draft to take off your Rolags at the end. Let's do the first Rolag as a stripe. We'll do it stripey, and then we'll do the second one as a blend. So what I'm going to do, and actually almost all of this is roving except for merino. This is more alpaca. This alpaca is divine. And then we're going to add in some of this bright yellow, this Polypay, which is also really, really soft and lofty. I do love it. And I'm going to throw some of this in here. Let's do this one in the middle. Let's get this started. And this is just going to be a little bit of the brown on either edge of the green. And once I kind of get a base pattern set up, I'll just stick with it throughout. So add a little of this dark green. And add a little of that over here. This lighter green. Not necessarily lighter green, it's just I think more of a yellow green. If I can stay focused enough on this, I will tell you guys about Canada. It was amazing. If you've ever thought about going to Alberta and Banff National Park, that's where we went, was to Banff National Park. It was the best trip. It was so fun. It was very physically demanding for all the hiking. All said and done, we did, and this was according to my phone, the miles, 59 miles of walk in 9 days. So it was pretty vigorous. And we had a lot of steep uphill hikes, and we also biked 70 miles. And we had e-bikes, the boys had regular bikes, and we had e-bikes. And it was so much fun. So this is some of this very pale green here. And what I'm going to do, this is the soft silk. I'm just going to kind of use my packer brush here to get this in. And for those of you who have a non-Clemes and Crankless Drumcarder, you can just paint this on with it moving. So we got this on here. Mostly I put it in with the other green. Well, I'm going to put a little bit of it everywhere. And then turn this on and use our packer brush here. And that's what we're looking like so far. And then next thing here is we're just going to add some more of this merino in. And I'm looking at the drum to see these white cloth, carding cloth poking through. And I'm just trying to fill that in. So for the biking in Canada, oh my gosh, it was amazing. It was, the pictures that I took don't even do it justice. It is majestic. It is just gorgeous. The blue water from the glaciers and the hikes, the elevation was pretty high. One of our hikes ended up at over 7,000 feet. And I think my favorite of the whole trip was Lake Moraine. And we got up very early and had, I think we had to get it maybe 4:30 or something. And we got the 6:30 shuttle. And we went to Lake Moraine to see the sunrise. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. It was so amazing. Maybe I'll put a picture of it at the end of today's video so you can appreciate it. If you're, I think I put a picture of it. I put some photos up on Instagram, so I have some really wonderful inspiration with the ice blues and the turquoise and like the greens. In the pines. Here we go. So here's where we are so far. And so far I've got the yellow, the green, the yellow, the green, the yellow. And I'm going to add a little bit of the silk here. so. And this is the tussah silk. So down in this pile down here off screen is my extra things that I add when something floats my boat. And for me, I'm like, this green is looking a little too bit brown green, so I'm going to substitute this little piece of green here. I'm going to switch that out for some brighter green, which I have right here for just in case I change my mind. And that is what we're doing right now. Oh, this is a good time to show you how to use my porcupine. At least I think it is, yeah. So here I'm going, I don't really want this giant bright pink piece that was in the sari. So what I do is I have this porcupine quill, and this is, I got this on Amazon. And I just go in there and I take out that little piece of sari color that I didn't want, and that's it. And now I don't have that bright pink. I don't mind like little tiny bits of pink, but that was a pretty big blobby pink. And that is now done, and it's not going to be in our way. Oh darn, I just remembered something. I forget this every time. So my Drumcarder is a double wide Drumcarder, and what I meant to do was do the Rolag shorter width-wise so that they were easier to wind, because my hand is not long enough to do the whole hold it on and roll. So it's a little bit of a Charlie Foxtrot for me. And every time I go to start, I think, I'm going to take some tape and mark where I want to go, and then I always forget. Because I'm so excited to get started, I just throw it on there and go. So this will be another struggle with my hands, but it'll be beautiful. And we'll do the next one, when we do the kind of more blended one, I'll just do it shorter, and I think that'll be exactly what we need. I'm going to add the silk sari on now, and then we'll put on some glitter. And this sari, I had some called Sunflower. I don't know what happened to it. I probably used it all because it was one of my favorites. So this one is close. It's called Honeycomb, and has a little bit of pink in it. So if I get too big of a clump of pink, I'm gonna get rid of it. And a little bit of this pulled silk sari goes a very long way. You don't need a lot. Okay. So good now. I love it. It's amazing how that sari just jazzes it up and adds some depth to it. And now I'm going to add just a little bit of sparkle, not too much. And again, this is one of those things that I would typically paint on the Drumcarder, but with this being so sharp, I am now just laying it on and using my packer brush, which works really well. It's basically gives me the same result. It'll just take a second longer. All right, I think we are just about there. Now what I'm going to do is roll my doffer strip to the top here. And yeah, that feels better. That's pretty good. Yeah, I think this will work. All right. And then I'm going to get my handle out here. I'm going to turn the power off so there's no catastrophic screwing up of things. I was the one who kept screwing it up when I was at a workshop, and we were doing this. I kept forgetting to take the block off because I was just so excited to get up. I tend to get overexcited about things, and I was so excited to get to the next part, and I hit the start button, and this handle went around with this block on it. It was not good. I was like, oh, shoot. That was terrible. And I did it like 3 times, so they were starting to think I was a moron. The power is off. I'll have to edit out the part where Finn was barking his brains out at me and taking all of his toys out of his trunk. They were all picked up, I swear, when we started this. They were all picked up. And literally, as soon as you hit record, it's like he knows. And he just runs back there and he starts very loudly removing every toy from his box. It's crazy. This up this way. And what I'm going to do is just rotate my handle here to get this up to where I can work with it. And the next thing I have here is I have the little 1/8 inch metal dowel that my husband cut for me. And what I'm doing is I'm just taking this wooden dowel and I'm putting it right up against the pins. And the first one of these is always the trickiest because it's going to be kind of big and floofy because I'm going to come out to the end here. I'm going to slide this out and then I want to go under. And as I do that, I'm going to start drafting and then winding in. Now, if this would be the right size for my hands, I would have my hands here and I would wind. I would take this little metal, I'm going to take it out, but you'll see what the problem will be because it'll still give you a lovely, fluffy Rolag, but it's just harder to hold on to because my hands aren't that wide. I have to remember next time to do it. And all you do is you keep drafting. You see how as I draft, this is getting thin? And as that gets thin, then it just comes off. Then I take this in my hand and roll it gently. And there are a lot of tricks to this. I've seen a lot of different ways. Somebody told me they use a curling iron, and I'm obviously not a hot curling iron, and that works really well. But the bottom line is what you really want to do is you want to try to get the center of this Rolag open, and as open as you can. So you can use the 2 dowels, but the 2 dowels will leave that kind of figure of 8 in the center, and that can give you a little bit more difficulty when you're trying to draft from it. So here is our first one. The first one's always a big chonker because you saw how much I had there. So the first big chonker is off, and then I really like this one. This has a nice bright yellow to it. Very lovely, and there we have it. Oh, it's only 8. That's not so bad. That's actually what I like. I like 8. So we're just going to keep doing this. I'm just going to advance the arm here. And we're going to continue on. Flipping this up. Like so. And we're going to do the same thing again. It doesn't matter which direction you roll, but if you want to see all the glitter and fancy stuff, you want to roll under. And again, I'm going to slide this out and hope that I can hold on to this with my hands. And I'm just rolling and drafting here. And when we do the next, I'm going to do the next one here so you can see how hard it is for me to struggle right now with trying to get this around here evenly and holding the all of it together so that it doesn't come undone when I take the metal dowel out. And I'm just going to run my hand through here and we're going to say, yeah, this is a real ugly one, but it's going to be the most open and beautiful spun. But she is a little uggo. And then what you do is just pull this out. And this one is really open and light. It's very, very airy and it'll spin beautifully. It's just not as attractive as the others will be. There you go. And we'll go again. Usually these are the ones that are a lot easier. But here you have it. And this is one of the best looking ones because I left it in the whole time. And just roll this up. Oh, look at that. Yeah, see? Beautiful. Photo worthy. So I'm going to keep taking this off. I'll show you when we get to the last one because that one can be a little tricky too. Here we are down to the last couple. And again, I'm just rolling this under, and typically just until I get it started like this, and then I would take the metal dowel out. But until I remember to not make it this wide, I'm going to keep leaving it in because it's just easier for my fingers. But what you don't want to do is when you're drafting out, holding it tight and rolling it. So when I draft out, and then see how I relax and then roll it in, that because you don't want it to be super tight on the dowel. And then that comes off like that. And have you run my hand through like this. And we got another one ready. These are really beautiful. Look at how nice that is. And even though I did leave that little metal dowel in there, if you look down the center of those, you cannot see any figure of 8 or anything. That's going to draft beautifully. But again, in a perfect world, I would take that out. Seldom is my world perfect. Here. And I'm just winding that on, and now I'm going to draft a little and wind. And, oh, you know what I didn't do was advance my, that's all right, it'll be okay. I didn't advance my handle. And then I'm just going to see if I can get as much of this off as I can. Usually my last one is either really fat or really thin. This one I think is going to be really fat. To stick with the theme of these Rolags, which are kind of fat. All right. So this is the last one. I'm going to take this out. This out. And there you have your last one. So let's take a look at these, and we'll put them out kind of in order here. So this was the last one here, so it's a little bit of a chunk. Normally, I'm gonna have between 6 and 8 Rolags, depending on how fat I roll them. So I think we're gonna have 8 for this one. So you can see, this is the first one. It weighs the same, surprisingly. It's just a lot airier and floofier. This was that second one you saw me struggle with, and then I was like, forget it, I'm not doing that the whole time. So then we had all the beautiful ones in the middle, and then the beginning and the end. Normally these are the ugliest ones in the bunch, but you know, I might keep this one for me. Here are the ones that I did earlier, which are also a sunflower. These are more of a golden color, and you can kind of see the difference here. So this has more of the golden with it, and it is really pretty. I think that I prefer the bright yellow, but I know a lot of my friends like this gold kind of a color. So, and you know, these sunflowers exist in all these colors, so I think they're both beautiful. All right, let's do the next one. For this one, we are going to make this a little bit more blended. So we're going to start here with some yellow, and I'm going to be more generous with this as having the bright yellow base. And you do want to spread it kind of thin here. If you make it too thick, it'll bind up. And also open the tail ends if you are trying to do a fairly large first pass like this. If you leave these ends kind of closed and they're not opened up, sometimes it'll all kind of come into a point and then get stuck. So we are not using the burn. Oh, sugar. What did I just say? I do this every time. I said I am not going to make it too wide. All right, well, let's just put it on. I'll take it off. Fine, we'll just take it right off. I was thinking about it 3 seconds ago, and I couldn't keep it in my head for 3 silly seconds. Well, we're going to reuse this, that's for sure. There we Now we are ready to make our thinner Rolags. Oh, for love of Pete. All right. That's what happens when you try to hurry up because your battery is dying on your phone. So we're going to stay roughly inside this line here. Well, at least we have this already nice and fluffy. It's going to go on beautifully. I think that that will be lovely. Let's see. Can I do that with my hand? Yeah. Yeah, that'll work. So what I'm doing here is I'm just going to kind of layer some of this stuff through. So this is the darker yellow. All right, so now I have a little bit of this brown here, and I'm just going to put a little bit of this through as well. Give us a little bit of color. And then once I add in a little bit of the green, we can stop and take a look at what we've got. I still want the overall general feel to be yellow, you know, and a bright yellow at that. So predominantly this is going to be yellow. And this is our yellow Polypay. I love this. The actual name of this is Bag of Sunshine. I was like, absolutely agree with that. 100%. All right. And you see I had that in my hand, but I wasn't holding it back in any way. I was just letting it kind of just roll through my hand there. And again, I don't want to bog this down too much with brown and green. So we are going to stick with mostly yellow, which is what I have here. And then at the end, we'll do a very light, we'll do the sari, and then we'll do a very light touch of green in the sari. And I think that is going to be absolutely perfect. And let's stop and take a look here and see how it looks. And the thickness is pretty even. I like it. All right. So I think what I would like to do, because I have a lot of the brown here still shining through, I'm going to get some of my yellow merino, the bright stuff here, and brighten it up a touch. Go a little bit brighter. And when you see when I take this off, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, that looks so cool. Because all in the layers are going to be not too blended, but the blend of the yellow, green, and some very light brown. And then we'll do the sari and the angelina on top. And of course, this is the cake decoration layer, so you gotta put some silk on it. I know we already have a bunch of silk in there, but really, can you have too much silk? I don't think so. There we go. Oh, I think that's perfect. That is just the right amount. So the next thing we're going to do is add our little bit of sari here so we can get our little bit of texture going through here. This. And we need a little bit of bling. Okay. I think we are ready. Let's get this all blended in. Okay. Now we're going to get this off of here just like before. Let me move all my little bits and bobs off to the side. Doffer strip at the top. It seems like I'm going with a frenzied pace. It's because I know that I have like 10% battery left and I'm going to be super sad if I don't make it. All right, so now we have our Rolag block like that. We have this. And you're looking at this going, ah! I say, fear not. So we're going to do this the same way as we did the other ones. I'm going to slide this out till we get to the end here, and just enough to kind of catch it to get it started. And I'm going to draft. And we're going to roll. And now I'm going to take this out. And I'm going to roll and draft. And I'm going to roll. And there we are. Beautiful. And now that is how you do it. If you don't make it as wide, look more like everybody else's normal Rolags. I kind of like the big long Rolags, but there's probably more than normal Rolag size for people. They're a little thicker, but they're not as long. So here you have it, and I think that looks lovely. Let's do, let me grab one of the ones we finished earlier. So here's the difference, and you can see this one is a lot longer, one, and it's narrower. But here is the difference in the blend too. And I like them both. I think they both are going to be wonderful. Oh, I forgot to show you. And see, it doesn't look much different than the long one when I left the dowel in. But if you look, you can look straight down in there, and it is perfectly open and round. And this is going to also draft like butter. And here we have it. Here we have the final Rolags to compare. And the ones on the left are the first ones we did today with the more stripy result when you spin it, like I showed you on the headband. And then over here we have the more golden stripy ones, and then in the center are the blended ones that we just took off. And I think they all look really good. They are unique and serve different purposes for spinning. They will also all be available on my website. They in fact should have been available last night at 7 p.m. So I will see you guys all next time. I haven't done, or at least to me, it feels like I haven't done any spinning in a long time. So next week we will be back to my home, which is spinning, and we'll go over something new. I think I have a fractal bat that I wanted to finish to show you guys, so we'll work on that. See you next time. Until then, spin happy.